Hi, I'm Eric Voss, and Captain Marvel has an...
Well, hopefully we didn't catch too much of that, and we'll have to check the other stuff out. But hey, there we go. We're back. Another week or two, and another episode of Comiconvos. And with that trailer, I don't know. I don't think I didn't have time this week because I was in the classroom a bunch. But this trailer, I don't know. I wasn't.
You were excited?
Not excited. I guess I just didn't feel the impact of this one. The thing is, it felt better later when I watched it on a better than my phone. You know what I mean? When I watched it on screen.
Yeah.
I will say, and I saw a couple of posts about it, and it's funny because it's always a lot of DC bashing. Yes,
yeah,
I've seen those. The one that I keep seeing is like the joke is
the lady talking about that one.
Yeah, the what's her called? I don't remember her name, but they made her into a meme.
Yeah, where she punches the old lady in the face.
Yeah. It's like, bam! True Marvel hero.
Or the other one, too, I guess, is that she doesn't smile. In this
well, even more than that is just like, there's not a lot of emotion at all, either way. Which is okay, I think, because they have her in kind of like this awkward place in the thing. It looks like she's like kind of lost her memories of what's happened.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which is fine, yeah. They took a nice little original. It looks like a lot of things are consistent. You see Ronin, you see the Kree bands, you see a lot of classic images. Which the de-aging stuff looks amazing.
Yeah,
I think it looks great.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
It's awesome when they do all that. Young Phil Coulson.
Yeah. The other joke I get is that the Skrulls look like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z live adaptation or whatever, and I was like, but they that's what they look like.
Yeah,
that's like they look exactly like that.
Like the ears. Like that.
Yeah,
look like something.
Yeah, he's supposed to look different. But yeah, there was a couple things, but overall, I wasn't at all mad at the Skrulls. I mean, the Skrulls kind of give away the plot of the movie, though, especially with the grandma scene.
But then there was a lot of people too that still are like I've seen that didn't understand why.
Oh well, I mean, anyone who doesn't know the Skrulls would have no idea.
Yeah, so
it's just for comic stuff.
Why did she do that? Why did she protect everything?
I think it's 50-50. Like the people who know the Skrulls immediately, like, oh,
that's why she got punched.
That's why she punched that old lady. I hope. It's like that's really what it is too. It's like
I hope that's why she punched.
Yeah, like later she's just beating up old ladies and I have to defend her. It's like, I can't defend that. Hey, what's up, Leo? Thanks for joining. Appreciate seeing you again, brother. But yeah, but the other joke I've been seeing a lot of is that her lack of emotion. They're just like, Joaquin Phoenix showed more emotion in his like 6 seconds of screen time than she does in the 2-minute trailer.
I was pretty excited for it. I want to see a new hero that we just wouldn't expect, them to show.
I mean, I think.
But they're running out of known superheroes.
Oh yeah, now. I would even say Captain Marvel isn't on high. I put her on the list next to Guardians. She's there, but she's not even the Captain Marvel most people.
Oh, remember, yeah.
Right. So
and we'll never get that copy.
No, which is
ruin that story.
Right. Well, I mean, they could always just do that story, like a retro. But the point being, we don't need it. And even then, that Captain Marvel's not that big either. Realistically, in this realm, we'd much rather probably going to see either solo movies from some of the smaller characters like Hulk and Black Widow, or new characters brought to life either on screen or on movie like Moon Knight. Spider-Man still has stuff.
Still heard Moon Knight's not.
It's not in yet, yeah. But they're trying to hardline like a Punisher style show for him. But the problem being they have the Punisher already, so I'm not sure how they'll have that work. I think they'd have to make it about mental illness, but they already kind of do that on Legion. Oh, I see we got comments from Leo.
It looks awesome.
That's the thing, and I like the look. I think that's the other thing is it's very similar to the Guardians thing where there's so much CGI going on that it's natural for me, so it's not like popping out.
Yeah,
they
just do a really good job of
making it natural and realistic. I get as realistic as fake things can look. You know what I mean?
The only one I did notice, I think, was in was Civil War 2, where you can kind of see Iron Man's.
The next step.
Where I think it's his friend's been shot down. He's over here. holding him, and you can kind of see it's just been CGI'd on there. That's the only time I kind of know it. And then 2, Black Panther was not the best either for me. That fight scene.
I feel like the fight scene wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't like the awful, terrible CGI mess that Justice League ended up being with Steppenwolf and everything. And even then, Justice League, I mean, yeah, awful CGI mess, but that wasn't what took away from the story. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was a million billion little things that like kind of added up to make Justice League a meh picture. Even if one of those things was just the fact that it needed to be amazing. Like, this isn't Ant-Man. You're not lowballing this out the park. You know what I mean? I like Ant-Man, but that's low hanging fruit, man. You're just like, all right, Ant-Man, here you go. You know, you got to reach a little for Justice League, put in a little work. One thing I will say that's sad is we're seeing more footage from the Joaquin Phoenix solo Joker project than we're probably ever going to see from Ben Affleck's Batman. This Joker has no enemy.
Well, that Batman, we don't even know what's going to happen.
I know, and I know it's separate universe, you know, different
I'm so confused. So they're still doing the Jared Leto, because they just said they finished the Suicide Squad script. And so that's, they're still doing it.
Yeah, they're still doing. They're doing, apparently,
I thought really
someone's thing is, and that was the whole thing about Cavill that they were saying is like, oh, well, Cavill's just not going to be in a Man of Steel 2 or anything soon because he's in Witcher and he'll be filming that. But
they still haven't like really said it.
I think, and someone was trying to pitch it to me that it's like they're trying to do Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I'm like, you know how many movies they have to do Crisis on Infinite Earths? You need at least a whole nother universe, if not 2 more universes to be built to do Crisis on Infinite Earths. And it would be sloppy no matter how you did it. I don't care how you did that as a movie, it would come out badly. I'm just saying, that is not an event that can
be done right now.
Right. It's the same reason I don't really want to see Secret Wars that much, because it's such a long, drawn-out process that you need several movies to tell the story. Kind of like, even Infinity War is one of those stories, and that one's a short one. Realistically speaking, it's like, what, 8 volumes or something? Or some.
There is
12?
a big omnibus that did come out, because they did have a lot of tie-ins from Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer,
and there's lead-ins and stuff, but the essential story is still tied into those. Whereas the essential story for Secret War, because of how it leads into Dark Reign, is like all over the place. Or not Secret War, Secret Invasion. Sorry, Secret War is great. Secret Invasion is the one I'm talking about with the scrolls. Secret War is actually smaller and could be done as a movie, or maybe a set of movies 1 and 2.
Well, we'll see what happens now, because Kevin Feige now said that it's official. They're taking the reins of X-Men.
I am super happy to see that. I would love... I mean, we've already seen what Fox can do at when they've been, like, stopped keeping their head up their ass. You know what I mean?
With the costumes.
Yeah, well, and even just Spider-Man, you know, but, like, I always look to X-Men First Class probably for that, where they have... Or no, is that First Class? Which one is that? No, Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. It wasn't the best.
No. But
I did like First Class, though.
First Class was a real good one. And it has, like, a lot of the classic storytelling, multiversal stuff that we're used to.
And I just don't like time travel movies. It's just so hard to do. I mean, not hard, but just like it gets to like how does that work if like this?
I mean,
happens?
That's the whole time travel paradox.
And then the only reason why Back to the Future does good is because they set these rules, you know, in place, and you just like, I accept them. You know, that's the rules.
Right.
Of time travel.
I think that's the difference, though. People, and like I said, people are like, oh, you're expecting. That's what they make fun of. It's like, that's unbelievable. What are your blah 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 fantasies? Like, no. We're not believing any made up bullcrap. We believe a narrative. You've set a world in place where you've constructed rules and people and infrastructure. And this is true of almost any story or like fantasy-ish thing, from anime to comic books or whatever. You've taken a setting, established rules and things, and then set characters off, basically, inside of this arena. So when you break those rules, you need to have reason, you know what I mean? If you've established, and I think that's what it is like, there's never, like you said, never an established code of rules like there are for Back to the Future. Granted, Back to the Future also establishes those rules over, like, 3 movies. And they're all weird, 88 miles per hour or something.
Well, that's how fast that car goes.
I know, but that has nothing to do with
I know, but that's just what they say. Like,
it just works.
I know,
this is how it goes. It's got to get to the limit. And like I said,
you just believe this
that's the
kooky scientists.
You know what that reminds me of is Hitchhiker's Guide. It just came back on Netflix.
Oh, I wanted to watch that again.
I love
remember watching it. I don't think I enjoyed it because it was
really
when I was younger, but I think I'll have to rewatch it.
I think when you're older, the thing is, it has a very dry style of comedy.
I think that's what
British dry comedy, and then it is really like one of those like reflection-y kind of things where it's like, all right, we established these rules.
Yeah, because the thing at the very end, it kind of got like that. That's
it gets.
I thought it was gonna be more funnier, but like I said, I think that's just what the trailer showed.
Oh yeah, because it's definitely on an off-brand of comedy. It would be that kind of comedy that's not typical. It's like Monty Python mixed with.
It's almost like Mystery Science 3000 or something.
Kinda, a little bit, but it's like a very light core introduction to that kind of stuff. But even then, it just really plays off of old school kind of British comedy, I'd say, like Monty Python, but mixed with the kind of subtle, sarcastic, cynical American modern day humor.
Okay.
So you get these like utterly ridiculous situations with like basic answers or something, or like you'll be like in space and fighting off a monster, and it's like, what do we do? Hit him with your towel. What? Yeah, it's your best defense. Hit him with the towel. Whack, whack. And so it's just stuff like that where it's like, you know, the where it plays off of perception and normality, and then self-cynicism, because that's the other one, is you got like that depressing robot or whatever. That guy's my Marvin the Robot, I think his name is. He's like one of my favorites. What up? Hey, what up, Marcos? Thanks for joining. But there's definitely a bunch going on with that. I mean, the Captain Marvel stuff, the Joker stuff is looking interesting. I didn't know about the other Instagram release that we just saw earlier until today.
No, with that one with
on the subway.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where I told you he was pissed. The director that they released that footage. Paparazzi did it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but that's why you're supposed to have closed sets. And
it just sucks. It always happens though.
It does, and it doesn't help any. Like, yeah, it reassures.
And the internet doesn't help either, because like
no, they'll pick something apart for any little detail. Which, you know, I'm sure they're already complaining about how shitty the clown masks look, despite the fact that it's gone through no production, is on a basic camera. You know what I mean? From some paparazzo. But yeah, people will tear apart. They said the whole big thing about Captain Marvel having a flat ass. That was literally.
Yeah, I know.
Something that was just like blown out of proportion. It's like, how does that have anything to do with?
And then I think I seen somebody too after the trailer came out. They're like, "Look, Captain Marvel has ass now." I was like, "Really? Why does it matter?"
What is that? I didn't know having ass was essential to save the universe. I'll go start working. And
my favorite is like when they would show Tom Holland and they would
just
show
they
her,
would do this.
and like, why does he?
It's like, why y'all looking? That's what I was thinking.
That's the same thing now that we're talking about that, like, you know, with the Batman Damned issue that came out with.
Yeah,
and it's not really. You have to see it.
I've seen the
you've seen it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They've had it around. I mean, most of them are blurred or whatever with the Watchmen smile.
Yeah, oh yeah. Or like, did you see the one I posted you where it said it had Dick Grayson on it?
Yeah, it's like Dick Grayson, and it's like, hey.
So, but yeah,
it's basically, oh god, what did you go? Silhouette.
Yeah, it's just a silhouette. That's.
But it's still like
you
one
can
of those
see
things.
it, so you're like,
Batawang.
Oh, come on, man.
We didn't need to see that. Could have been all clad in darkness like it usually is, and we've been good.
A lot of people are liking the scene. And some people are taking it out of proportion because some people are saying that it makes it feel more human and like, I mean, he's kind of like vulnerable.
Did you assume he didn't have a dong though? Is that was like the assumption here? Like, I don't understand. Like, he was obviously naked anyway. Without like, you pull that away and you have the darkness, because they do that all the time.
Yeah,
you know, especially in the '90s comics, they would do it a bunch where you'd have these sinewy cutout male figures, and then the darkness or female figures would be perfectly placed. Keep them off of the NSFW list or whatever. But yeah, this one, like I said, I have nothing against it either.
No,
I just question
why is it so born out of
right, and
I mean it's been everywhere.
Right, and it's
Late
not
night
important.
Shows, TMZ,
it like I said, it reminds me of the whole rap thing going on with the beef. It's one of those things that's blowing up all over the internet, even though it has zero actual importance to anything realistically. Yeah. It's like no one should really care about this stuff. There's way more important things like, you know, world issues going on that we ignore for this kind of fucking crap. And like you said, I'm of the mind where it's like, okay, Batawang, move on, next issue. Like, I'm much more concerned about Thor issue 5 or 6. I don't know if you caught up.
Read it yet.
I haven't got it either, but I've already got a little bit of it ruined for me by the review. Not much.
Okay.
You kind of already know it's coming because it's set up at the other end. But it's that end of time Thor, and then you have Phoenix Wolverine.
Oh, I did see that already get posted online.
I told you someone, but it was already in the last chapter.
I tried to ignore that stuff too. I'm like, I don't know.
I really try not to get up to him, but then it's like it's literally in the title. It's like tomorrow, you know.
I don't like when they do that. Like, just that pisses me off too.
Oh, it really is a little irritating. But
it ruins the story. But it's alright. I mean, I'll still read it. I'm gonna
I'm gonna go. That's what I still have to do after this. Is I'll be watching this and making those episodes. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Get some stuff done. But basically, I got to catch up on comics this week because I'm behind.
I'm so behind. I'm like a month behind right now. So
it's tough, man. They come out and they don't stop. Like
don't stop. Keep going.
And then you
won't stop. Can't stop. But yeah, so I gotta catch up on that. I did, like I said, I wanted to read Batman Dan, like I said. Other than, them showing that, it was a good book. Like, really good.
I mean, honestly, most of the
changes the Batman mythos, basically, for you. Because, like, what happened is, like, it's basically a story like who murdered the Joker, because it seems like the Joker's dead right now.
Oh, shit.
And it feels like now it's kind of leading towards, did Batman kill him?
Right.
And so he doesn't know what happened. He's kind of confused on what happened. And somebody's like, I think it's supposed to be Mr. Freeze. I can't tell.
It probably will. It'll be somebody. The other thing being, like you said, we have 3 Jokers right now, so we have a couple to spare. It's like, it's like, all right, they killed this one.
And then they have Constantine, like, narrating the whole story.
That's definitely interesting.
Cool. So, I think I'm pretty excited for what they're going to do for
the story. The thing is, they always do pretty good work on the Batman books because it's their bestseller.
And it seems to, like, because, like, I don't know too much about DC characters, but I think it's, the character from Suicide Squad, the Enchantress. Yeah, she's also in the book. And,
really?
Kind of, even when when he's little and he sees her and stuff, and she's always telling. You have to read the story again. It's just so like complex, kind of. Really,
I'll have to check it out.
Really,
it's on my list of stuff.
Like, it wouldn't be like for the young adults. For the young, be like, oh yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Which is fine because there's books for young adults and books for mature readers. Which is the other one I checked. I forgot. I think you were the one who told me to check out East of West.
I haven't actually.
No, all right.
That was Jonathan Hickman, but I always wanted to read it.
You definitely should check it out. It's on that line of not for young adult readers. It's definitely an adult comic book. But it's just got a really good prose. Like the world it's set in is really interesting. Because I think the prose of it is that the Civil War. What the hell happened again? It was America came over and like lost some of the wars that they were supposed to win. So black people. Oh no, that was it. The black people and Indians uprose against America.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Now I remember, and I was like, "That's how." So of course, for me, it was
I understand. And then East and
East and West, yeah. And so it was like this whole thing, and then like you said,
of course, Jonathan Hickman. Come on.
Oh, it was great.
It's ever since there was Secret Wars, I mean.
Oh yeah, he's been a good writer.
And that Black Monday Murders is another book.
Oh yeah, I gotta check
that one. That's
Hickman's on my list of writers to watch out for with Soul. There's a couple.
He dabbles like in the stock market, and like how they're actually getting their powers from like these gods and stuff.
Oh yeah,
he goes crazy.
I also checked out that other book from Soul, Curse Words.
Oh, I always want to check that out too, but I never.
Kind of interesting. I didn't get too far in. I think I'm on like 9 or 10, and there's like 20 or 30 chapters so far. But it's basically like an evil wizard who comes to Earth from another dimension and basically decides he doesn't want to be evil anymore because it's so awesome here. And he doesn't want to destroy the universe, so he's just like, I'm gonna just fuck off. And then obviously, story built off of that. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like that.
Some books I'm checking out was Burnout, which just came out, which is about these kids can only see about aliens coming in doing body snatching basically.
Oh, okay.
But the only way you can see the aliens is if you smoke weed.
Oh my god! Wait a minute! This is one of my original scripts. Oh god! One of these.
So
this is everyone's.
And they have other kids like who are smoking weed and like come in and like bashing the aliens and everything towards the end.
That's funny.
And that sounds like a good story, just for the.
I'm a little irritated because I had a prose on like that where it was it's the same thing, but instead of aliens, it was monsters, and then like an underground society was like you can't see the monsters unless you're dumb, man. That's it.
And Farmhand, did I tell you about that
I
one?
don't think so. Farmhand, that sounds.
So this is the guy who did the artwork of Chew. That's the one where the detective has to eat dead people to find out more.
You were telling me about that one.
So that one, and then this one now he created it and he's drawing it also.
Okay.
And I think it's Rob Gilroy, I think is his name. But yeah, his story is basically an old man, just comes up with a seed, basically the Judea seed, and it grows human organs, so like teeth, eyeballs, everything. And so they're using it to transplants because it's better than doing somebody else's arm and not expecting it's gonna work. The body might reject it. But then there's some crazy stuff going on because last issue I just read he doesn't allow pets inside because his greenhouse basically.
Okay.
And so the reason why is because I guess the animals don't take good to eating the plants because as soon as one of the dogs ate it, it turned into this like giant monster dog and everything. I was like, because there's some sketchy stuff going on with it.
I'm sure there is. I mean, you got a tree that grows human organs. There's going to be some sketchy stuff going on.
So it's a good story. I love it.
I love checking out ones like that. That one sounds dope. I mean, I always do. That's the other reason I go for the manga a lot of the time to beat the anime coming out. And also because
just to read the story.
And also because like they're limited. Like especially as Americans, we're not going to get the full. So like an example, I just started my brother on Toriko, which is like a food anime. But not like Shokugeki.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
And Toriko was a really good manga writing wise. It's probably one of the better. It's like definitely better than Naruto or Bleach. Mostly because it has no filler. There's like very little written in filler. Even in the manga though, most manga even has written in filler because you need a week or two between ideas or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for somebody to draw something down and then think of an idea.
One Piece only gets away with it because they take a week off like every month. They literally take a week off like every month.
That story's still going on.
Oh, it's going forever. But
how many episodes are they on?
Oh, they're on like 800 or something.
No.
Oh yeah, easily 800, and they're not even done. And to be fair, it's like one of the best paced stories out there.
Is it like a woman that made the story?
I don't know actually.
I think it was a woman that could.
I would love to actually know. I don't think so because I think they had another anime or manga, or maybe I'm thinking of another one. But I'd love to see.
I could never get into it just because.
No, Ichiro Oda.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I knew it was. I think he's done something else. Does he have another career? No.
I don't think he has time.
He might not. Jungle King Tar-chan.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, some stuff from a long time ago. It's like
Oda helped create some of the characters in Rurouni Kenshin.
Ooh, okay. That's old though. That's like 80s old there.
Oh yeah, he was working as an assistant to the writer. That's how he was able to do it.
Now that we're talking about anime, did you check out Bleach on Netflix yet?
With the movie or
the live action?
I haven't checked. Oh, the live action. No, I haven't checked it out. How was it?
It was good for being
I heard a lot of rough
anime adaptation. It was good. I thought it was good.
I'll have to check it.
The character looked good. The acting was like kind of like on. It kind of felt like the anime a little bit because they even had a scene where the dad comes in, beats the crap out of Ichigo and
That's
stuff.
funny.
Even like the kind of the relationship with Ichigo and Rukia kind of like feels like the same.
They said that's one of the things I'd be interested in, and why those like
even the comedy, like that you would find weird, like in a live action movie, but like. It's not weird because it's like anime form.
Right, and that's one of the
humor.
things that I always wonder if that's people's problem with adaptations, because some of them are bad. Like Death Note, that's just a bad adaptation.
But it was supposed to be an Americanized version. They
Even,
already said
even
that
as an
it was,
Americanized version, that's just a bad adaptation.
This one was more of like, taking exactly
Right.
from the source
And
material.
I think the other thing though being people don't like it because, and it's like somewhat a racial thing, but more of like a sociology thing where they see the Japanese actors and they're just like, well, I wanted a live action, and I think people think this subconsciously. They might not even like where I can relate more like the actors are American, and I think that's what people want. But that would have that's the thing. I think people don't think about it, and that colors their opinion. Like when people hear live action, they're like, oh, I want to see.
Same thing is going on with Avatar because they just said that they're not going to be whitewashing this one.
Which I didn't. I mean. Was the kid even? I didn't even notice last time. It was just so bad in general.
Well, even the pronunciation in that movie.
All right, the pronunciation that was just.
Because what were they calling him? They were
calling
Ong.
It was Ong and Soka.
I was like, it's Aang, guys. It's Aang.
The thing that pissed me off is that's an originally American anime. How do they fuck that up, right?
And they're not even like, the writers and the
other
writer, they're not. They just wanted that to be an Asian culture, and
that's what they said. They took a lot of hints and inspirations from it, but yeah, that's fucking. It's written, yeah. That's just ridiculous to me because it's not like other ones like. So I was watching a Kame ga Kill with one of the kids.
Oh, the anime?
Yeah.
That's the one where the first episode it really gets turned 180, right?
Yeah, they're all yeah.
I haven't finished. I just started the first one, but I never got through the rest.
It just takes once you finish the first episode, you're pretty stuck on it.
Yeah,
it's only got like 25.
It was good.
The thing was, all right, two things. One, the anime and the manga are different because of the release ways. Because they couldn't keep up with the anime release through the manga release, they made a different anime ending. Just a totally different one.
That sucks.
But the thing that gets me is the pronunciation changes from Japanese to English. So you'll have, I read the manga, so I get those somewhat, in between ones. So, you'll get characters, like Tatsumi, his name's Set, but then you got mine, which is spelled Mine, but it's actually pronounced Mien. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mine or mine. And then you have Bulat, who ends up being blue, or it's like this whole transfer from not only Japanese but German in Japanese to English because they're German names. A lot of them. Bulat, mine, Lubach. Who's the Rubach, and then another one. And I don't know why she chose German. Same reason they chose German for Full Metal Alchemist or whatever. But it's one of those things where you have a double language barrier jump, and it's just and they do it in One Piece too because all the One Piece attacks are in different languages.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I don't mind because she actually looks it up and has correct pronunciation for all of them. Diable Jambe. That's correct. That's French, whatever, Cajun, and that's 100% correct how you say that. But yeah.
Well, that's good then. At least she's.
That one they do research. You can tell. They did the same in the Bleach for the Arankars or whatever when they have them named after the numbers.
I have to see Bleach. I'm barely starting to finish it up.
Right.
I'm on episode 90 finally.
See, and that's why I go through the manga too, is because it takes so long. Oh my god! And I read so much faster that it's easier for I've been reading Toriko at the same time as watching it. I'm twice as far reading than I am watching.
Yeah.
And it's just the time. What else have we got going? Infinity War's still running through its stuff. I read the other one, which was interesting. I love it too because now it's the Soldier Supreme, Arachnite, and there were a couple.
Yeah, it was kind of
Weapon Hex.
Yeah.
Some of them are dumb. Most of them are dumb actually. And I like that the only reason they merged were they were.
Oh, it's supposed to be Wolverine and Nick Fury, right? Is that who that is? Because he's wearing an eye patch.
No, that one is Wolverine. He just that's just from his time as Patch. That's Wolverine and Emma Frost.
That's
Remember
right.
She stabs her and then reads her mind. That's so funny too because it's one thing to merge a character and just
they did a good job of actually establishing why this happened.
Right, the universe is actually kind of
she didn't mean to look like she fucked up and she didn't
I'm
integrate a whole new universe.
I'm 100% that she has no clue what she's doing.
No, because
entirely being played by the whatever ghost of Thanos is in her head. Whatever is happening with that, I have no idea if that's actually, especially because they did Thanos Legacy, where it's
I was
up to him getting his head. Oh, it's so weird. I can't even remember. The Ghost Rider shows up to piss on his corpse. Yeah, and then he has. That's right. He has his will.
Oh, that's what it was at the end. That
his will is what could he do that would start a war? He's his will.
Don Case is doing something.
He does some interesting stuff. I'm definitely. I love his writing. A lot of people don't like it apparently, and I think it's because they're used to the old bland writing of the past 20.
I think people are just like, why with the mashups?
Even the mashups,
like,
though,
even like the Jugger Duck, and that didn't even last long. I was like,
those were just for a chapter. That's
it looked like they just showed it for a quick
which pisses me off because they've done that in Spider-Man for years. Yeah. They've pulled and X-Men. They're famous for going to another universe and finding a different version of a character. Let's see, what are we looking at time right now? We're about 31 minutes in. Doing decent. Just checking. But yeah, like I understand why that is, but you just gotta look at the pure writing stance of it, and the writing there is just it's good writing. If the stories move and make sense, they aren't forced. It's most of them. The Jugger Duck was a little like I said,
I did like it though.
It was fine. Yeah, I had no problem with it. The thing was being like you can do anything as long as you have a reason, and the reason being was Cable went out to find bullcrap characters to
just finding any characters that were just like coming back after back and just like
which was great, and it also gives a good spectrum, which is I loved because in the original Thanos run you don't really get a level of the power of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like there's just nothing to scale him against. Like you have all of these big names and words, Cosmic. Spirit of Vengeance, Chains of Sidorak, or whatever the bones.
Yeah.
But you don't really see him fight anyone but Thanos and the Surfer, and he gets his ass kicked against the Surfer. So it's one of those ones where you're like, well, how strong is he really? Like he should be exponentially, pretty fucking powerful. Now the whole army of people he was fighting on Cable, there weren't that many big hitters on there. There were like a couple, but no one like super super high level, like Rune King Thor or something. Most of them were on the levels of like Thor or Sentry, or you would reach maybe universal level, but not multiversal level.
And I'm curious too what Loki has found out.
Right, yeah, especially with the God Core, yeah, and that whole thing. I'm definitely interested to see because, like you said, I love how like it's mirroring the original Infinity Run with Loki as Mephisto and her as because that's what he's like. Except for I'll be your Mephisto. Except for I won't lead you astray.
Yeah, that's what
fingers crossed. So that's great.
Those are all good. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's happening. It's kind of weird too. I'm curious on where Thanos has to play this all in.
Right.
It kind of looks like he has this planned out since.
Since the whole spirit death thing. I mean, he had no fight against Gamora, even though in the comic it says that he knew she was there.
Yeah, he kind of knew. So I was like,
So why would he just let her body him if that's the case? Then we have the whole thing from Avengers, the actual run. Did you see the Cosmic Ghost Rider backstory? Or no, the original Ghost Rider backstory?
What happened again? I don't.
It was him
with the Matt. Yeah, I did read that.
That was good. That was good writing. I liked that. That was a good universe mythos where it's just like you're not the only one, and then
just establish that character a little bit more. It was.
I was just looking through. Like I said, the Thor chapter is pretty big. Doctor Strange has been on and off. Oh, the new Hulk. All of the Hulk stuff recently has been amazing.
Last Hulk, I just not the. It was the one where he was fighting Sasquatch. That's where I left off, and then he finds out that his dad.
Right, which I was so.
I thought he killed his dad.
He did
because he came back, or he even went to hell.
He says
killed the ghost.
But then he says in there that he came back through the green, which is for them is not the green of the.
So keep telling about the green door or something.
Yeah, the green door, which is gamma, the gamma wave power or whatever.
He came through that way.
Right, and which makes sense because he was a gamma monster just like the Hulk in a different way.
I don't remember.
His original power is somewhat similar to the movie version of him, in that he could absorb the elements around him, and I think that was what it was. It's kind of rough to remember, especially since they change. You know what I mean? Back and forth.
Stuff, yeah.
But yeah, he's always had that roughness spot with his father, and his dad's just always had that the hooks in him. You know what I mean? But the big issue, like I said on that one, is really that his dad is just back. Like that's a really cool third level to that Jekyll and Hyde fight.
Yeah, I like that. And then I just like
I know.
I just like the kind of like you said, the Jekyll and Hyde, because wasn't the Sasquatch anymore. It's kind of his dad kind of coming in.
Right,
and
yeah. And it was, like I said, I was getting a little off-put by the Sasquatch story for a second, because I was like, alright, I like that it's like, alright, he's the same as me, the Gamma, he gets stronger, he comes back. But then I was like, alright, well, where's it, what's it gonna lead to? I couldn't see an end of it until we see him. And you're like, oh, shit.
That's why. What's going on here? Okay, yeah.
Super horror story stuff, too.
Yeah, that's what I like about this one right
so
now.
classic.
It's like a horror story.
And I really hope that they don't, like, everyone complain about it. Oh, snap! They just came out with Chapter 3 of Injustice versus the Masters of the Universe.
Oh, that finally came out now?
Yeah.
You said that's been taking forever to finish up, huh?
Well, that's the Injustice 2. I think they finally did finish that one
almost.
almost.
They said.
I don't know if it's quite done yet. I think it might have been this
Snyder
week.
Said he was doing his last issue.
Maybe he's writing it and it comes out either this week or it came out this week or next week, because I know it was almost up to where the video game started. Because that's the thing, it's just a story. Even the original Injustice led up to the start of the video game, and then that was where the video game started.
Okay.
And so this one, it has a whole thing, and they finally got to Brainiac, because he's the villain of number 2, which is so funny because you have Darkseid in it. But regardless, it's been a good story writing wise. There's been a lot of cool stuff going on. Like, it's got a lot of what if stuff. The Lobo being a Green Lantern was hilarious. It was like his use is very creative, but if he were to be a full-time Green Lantern, we just have to have someone fly around and put a sensor in front of everything he made. And so it's stuff like that. What up, cuz? It's good to see you, Mike. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for this Joaquin Phoenix Joker stuff. I wasn't originally, and now I'm really excited.
I've always been excited for it because as soon as they said Joaquin Phoenix, I was
like Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm gonna get on the train, and then when I seen the photos, like I said, I was like, I'm kind of off the train.
I'm a little hop off the train. I'm taking this. I'm gonna just rest stop here for a minute.
Yeah.
Got my hand on the button ready to pull it down.
If I need to.
Okay, we're good. Wait. Because he did. It was the original footage or whatever, like the thing. It didn't look very good. It was very grainy. And I think that's why they released the better one later, is to kind of clear it up. And then, like you said, they had that trailer, whatever, the leak from the paparazzi, which is just like, come on, guys. You're throwing out a lot of stuff there and fucking people's shit up. You're lucky they don't sue you or something.
Yeah, I would imagine that it just sucks that they couldn't do anything about that.
But having seen that, I'm even more confident.
Yeah,
I like the way he carries himself. It looks, and like I said, I wasn't even necessarily like I like Heath Ledger's Joker a lot. He's not necessarily my favorite Joker, just because I really like classics.
I just love, his take on it.
I like the new take on it. He had a very unique take.
And I like, those scenes too when he comes out of the my favorite scene is the hospital scene when he comes down and he's just like, that kind of just really felt like the Joker to me.
It does. The thing is, he was a very method actor.
Don't fuck with me.
He's like, which is why I kind of like this one, because I feel like Joaquin Phoenix is playing a very similar Joker to the Joker he played.
That's fine.
At least, and I'm fine with that too. But that's at least what I'm seeing from his depiction. The smile, and which is realistically is a way, like the flavor is different, but the stew remains the same. You have the Joker, who is a funny, laughable, demented psychopath. Like, that's the only way to describe it. You have happy and then crazy.
Yeah.
That's it. You have happy and dark. You go back and forth between the smiley face and the frowny. Like, I feel like that's the perfect description of the Joker, is the half smile, half frown.
Have you seen the synopsis on him? Kind of like what the director says.
World's
on. It's kind of, he lives like this normal, life, and then he kind of, you have to read it.
That's the thing. I almost
don't
want
the society no more that's found to be corrupted, and so he gets. I don't know. You have to read.
And that's the thing. I almost don't even want to, because like you said, I want to kind of come in fresh with this one. This is a new, different Joker that's not connected. I'm trying to separate it entirely from Jared Leto's Joker, because I hate the way that Joker is portrayed in almost every single way. There's one part in Suicide Squad where I like him, and that's the part where he pulls his hand over his mouth.
That's the only part I thought that was cool.
Because that's the Joker. That's just like, come on, give me a... I can't remember what he was doing, but it was from light, and even then I don't like his inflection. Like, the way he talks as the Joker is really off.
It wasn't that good.
I'm off on her.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I wonder if that was his Heath Ledger impression.
No, I'm just. I just wonder because like you think about like how he talked, but he did it. He does do that rumbly growl, but he doesn't. Oh, someone's been at it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a difference in the character, and I feel bad because Leo is a good actor. I've seen him do plenty of things.
I think it's just that's what the director wanted.
I think that probably is what the director wanted, and it was
not good.
Not good.
Everything he chose is not good.
I mean, I've been really off and on for all the choices for DCU. Someone too made the point. They were like, "Y'all are always bashing DC movies before they come out." That's because I base my fucking predictions on the track record, and your track record is like 1 for 4 or something.
Wonder Woman's the only one that saved you guys, and that's about it.
Oh, and then people were like, "Well, Wonder Woman didn't do that great. It has like 800 million at the box office. Like one of the best original superhero films, origin stories of all time for a single hero."
Yeah.
What the hell are people like? Don't know. You know what I mean? But it's whatever, man. I can't make people see that this is
satisfy everyone.
Right. But even the thing being like, all right, and I try to make people see this is like, yes. Movies and stuff are subjective, right? Opinions. But what's not subjective is the fact that as a subjective content, you know, what people go and get is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make sales in subjective areas, that reflects how well you're doing. Because that's the only way to measure a subjective thing. There's no objective quality that every movie has to have to be good. You know, it's not like, oh, every movie has a heroine or a hero that saves the girl. No, it doesn't. There is no formula. The only formula is if it sells, it works. See, that's the formula. And so as much as we don't want to base it on that, like the popular movies, that is how you determine which line. And then from there you can break it down. All right, did it sell well and also have high-level intellectual concepts? And, you know, all this stuff that they're always praising the Zack Snyder movies for supposedly having. Which they do. They have a lot of cool, like, underimage and relational information and a lot of things that don't make a good movie. that are cool supplementarily, but don't make a movie good to watch. You know what I mean? I think that's what they praise. Like, it has to be watchable and then critically good.
Yeah. Understandable, exactly, yeah. Because since we're going to see it more, I think the audience is the critic.
Right, and even, like, that was the other point I've been seeing on the things, is they're like, well, it doesn't, you know, this and the real comic book readers and the thing, like, you act like real comic book readers have an effect on these movies. We are a small population base. The, you know, everyday Kate, who took her kid to see it 2 times, there are more of them than the 20 times we go see it.
Yeah.
That's literally how many numbers we're outnumbered by. So we have to endeavor for both if we want it. We have to ask them to make comic accurate movies also enjoyable.
Yes.
Right.
So, other than that, then, I mean, what else is there that
happened? There's really not much. If we wanted to, we could head it off early. I know you probably got stuff to head out to do today. Yeah, not too many people running through. I mean, we covered the Joker, we covered Captain Marvel,
Batawang,
Bruce Wayne, Bat-Dong.
Bat-Dong, that's another one I've been hearing.
I like that one. I don't know, Batawang's pretty good, but I like Bat-Dong. It's just like powerful. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out later. But I guess that'll wrap it up for episode 66 of Comiconvos. We'll be back in a week or 2. Depending on a thing, but we will be releasing more comic reviews and hardcore casuals as time comes on. There's more seasons stuff even coming up soon, so I know a new season of BoJack Horseman.
I guess we could talk to just one last thing is that they did announce Scarlet Witch and a Loki TV series.
I did hear that, which seems
Disney
so
streaming service.
Which seems so weird. Is that going to be live action? Like, I just don't see where or how that even happened. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that's like, why? And then how did you even get there? It's like, I'm going to put ranch on my meatballs. Why? And how did you get to that idea? Did your ranch fall on your meat? Did those two just like do a comedy skit one day and the director was like, new show! You're hired, but we're already working. Well, you're hired again. The other thing,
and then like just one more thing too. Like I'm just super excited for the Avatar.
I really am super that they're giving it another chance is a godsend for me because
and
it's
a
such
TV
powerful.
series.
That's gonna be way better because the movie you would have to do such a rough. They rushed that
wanted
movie
to do 3
too.
parts,
They-
but it wasn't gonna work.
You couldn't do it. First of all, they went straight to the fucking water temple thing, which was so
Yeah,
because that was the end of book 1, and you're just like,
there's no. Yeah, I don't
What
know.
are we
I'm just
doing?
gonna be so happy that there's gonna be character development.
I was gonna say
and-
the other thing that's coming out that I forgot about was Big Mouth
Yeah,
season
I was
2.
just saying that too, and then I guess they did release that Child's Play.
Yeah, but I
Chucky.
was.
There's a reboot now.
At least it's a reboot and not
A
fucking-
continuation.
Yeah,
of
because
everything.
we've done everything under the sun for Chucky at this point. They did Chucky, Bride of Chucky, Kid of Chucky, Dog of Chucky.
Dog of
Bruce
Chucky. Oh my
Have
god.
you been checking out any of the?
Space
I
Jam.
did hear about that.
It's a reboot
I
as well.
don't know what Brian Coogler has done besides Black Panther.
He did Creed.
Creed.
That's
Yeah,
the one
because
with
someone was
Rocky.
saying he would be perfect for Space Jam, and I'm like,
Yeah, he
Why?
would because like he did Creed, like I said, he has
I mean,
that.
Creed's good, but is it funny?
No, it's more of just like I don't know, maybe because he's black. And
I think
just-
that's what they want the culture. So
It's the- more the
maybe that's
culture.
right. Okay, so
More the
maybe that's
culture.
what it is. Because I guess that's the other thing is I don't see Space Jam as an inherently originally black.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah,
But
'cause-
I can see that. All right, I was just wondering. I'm like, has he directed like some really funny cartoon kid stuff, or that I'm not aware of, or is it just okay? He's good with the culture.
then
That's cool.
there's Charlie Angels.
Really,
Coming
they're
back with
doing it.
Patrick Stewart's gonna be what's his name?
You know who they should do? They need to do Neil Patrick Harris.
Well,
as
guess who's
Charlie.
gonna be the Charlie's Angels? They have I hate her, Kristen Stewart. She's gonna be in it.
I see that it's Patrick Stewart. That's
And then Patrick Stewart's gonna be the
Charlie.
Bosley. That's
Oh,
who
he's
supposed to- I
Bosley.
think he's supposed to be.
that's got to be Bosley. Okay. I would like to see one where you have Neil Patrick Harris as Charlie, because that's who I imagine
Oh,
Charlie to be.
okay. Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know. That's always who I imagine. Is like, who would have a group of 3 ninja
Right,
women
here we
to
go.
go?
Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and a newcomer, Ella Balinska. I don't know who that is. See?
Oh, I don't know Ella Balinska. Naomi Scott sounds familiar though.
I just don't know about Kristen Stewart though.
I'm not a big Kristen Stewart
I always
fan.
like the. Well, actually,
She's
you know
a
what?
beautiful woman, but she comes off weird. This chick. She's in a couple things. Power Rangers.
Was she the
Terra
what
Nova.
she-
That's where I
oh,
know
she
her
was the
from,
Pink
Terra.
Ranger.
She's the wife
There you
in
go.
Martian, I
That's
think.
right. I think yeah, she was the Pink Ranger.
Yep. And then I know her from Terra Nova. That's how I recognize her. She's like the wife in Terra Nova to the guy who's they travel like that. Yeah, it wasn't that great. It was a good concept. They like go back in time to before the dinosaur extinction level events to like get
Oh,
resources.
there we go. That's where I seen that before.
And it was good for like the first half of the first season, and then
And
it
it
kind of
canceled
dropped
it.
off. Yeah, very much. It was done. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for us. Thanks again for checking us out. Before we go out, I'm going to put on about 10 minutes of our artist spotlight. This week's artist spotlight, let's get the nice switch over, is going to be Ink Fable Media's. And so Ink Fable we met at the last Comic-Con, Denver Comic-Con 2018, and he has some amazing stuff. He's actually originally a graphic designer. However, he's now trying his hands at both comic art and comic books. He's actually doing a whole book. Looks amazing. His art's great, and he does African American characters, which are I always enjoy because they don't have a lot of African American characters, and then the style of drawing varies widely from any medium for Black people. So like the biggest example being like drawing Black people from Dragon Ball Z and drawing Black people from I can't remember, it's either One Piece or something else. Naruto, and Black people in Naruto look beautiful, and Black people in Dragon Ball Z look like Mr. Bobo. No offense. I'm just saying that the style is not reminiscent of
I don't think
physical.
they meant to do that though. Or the
I
same
think
thing
that
when
it's
they did
just class-
Pokemon with Jinx.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where they based that on classic American stuff,
It
and
does,
classic
it
American
looks
stuff
exactly
is super
like that.
racist.
That's why
Yeah.
as soon as I see Mr. Pope, I'm like, blackface.
Yep, 100%, and I'm just like, no, he
Don't
looks,
work.
He looks,
Doesn't work, bro.
he looks like a white man painted black. That no.
No. Get it off.
Get it off. Get it off. That it's a character at this point, and it's like not cool. But he does some beautiful stuff, so you can even see it in here. You see that he also does a lot of My Hero Academia stuff, which is awesome.
Let me actually put this over here. So we can see the whole thing. Like that one's one of my favorites. It's got the dragon.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I've seen that one.
These ones are on random, so they'll see a couple of them like a couple times. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody, and we'll just leave this streaming here.
Bye.